My grandpa and I stole $1 million from the mob. I've spent the last 3 or 4 years now working with my grandpa as a landscaper, maintenance man for this group of Catholic nuns down here in Walton. And I didn't know the history of like Newport, Covington. There's actually a lot of mobster history from that area up there. And, you know, you don't think in today's society that that's even a thing anymore. But one day, me and my grandpa are out here working, cutting grass, moving logs, cutting down trees, just like the typical stuff we'd be doing around the property here for this group of nuns one day. And he asked me to move a couple huge rocks in the front yard where we were mowing down to this gully. So I look to my right and there's a perfect square, like the size of like a dinner table dug in the ground. Walk over, there's no grass seed on it or anything. I'm like, there's no way that we dug this hole. I know the nuns didn't dig this hole. So I run back up, shout to my grandpa, have him come down. I'm like, did you do this? And he's like, nah, thinking maybe someone buried a pet or something in there. And my grandpa's like, you know what? Just dig it up. Just get a shovel, dig it up. We'll see what it is. So we start digging, and I immediately knew it wasn't like a body or any type of like dead pet or anything because they didn't bury it deep enough in the ground. Well, I end up coming across like the strap of like a duffel bag, one of those big like duffel bags. It's all duct taped and sealed up. Well, I rip it out of the ground, and my grandpa's like, open that shit up. So I, sure enough, open it up, and we see a bunch of like $10,000 wads of cash. And I was like, holy shit. Like, I look at my grandpa, I'm like, this is a freaking miracle. Like, there's no way. And my grandpa's like, literally like drops to his knees in shock. He's like, there's no way. Like, and we were just like totally taken back. And the nuns were out of town on a retreat, and it was just him and I there. And I looked at him, I'm like, we got to keep this, right? Like, we got to keep it. And he's like, just calm down. Let's get it up to the garage that we workshop in here at the convent. So we go up to the garage and count it out. It's like almost $1 million. And my grandpa's like, this is wrong. We need to call the cops. We need to get it up. And I was the one who's like, fuck that. Like, all the shit you've been through in your life, like, you and Nana have worked so hard for this money. Like, Papa, we're keeping the money. My grandparents, I call them Nana and Papa. So I'm like, Papa, we're keeping this. Like, we ain't got to report it. We don't know where it came from. That could have been buried there for months. He's like, fine. So we pack it up, and I'm like, obviously, I'm thinking we're going to split it or something. And my grandpa, he owned his own business, so I knew he would have a plan for kind of like putting together some type of shell corporation or making it look like an investment or a donation. Like, I knew my grandpa would have a plan to cover up how we got it, so I wasn't worried about that part. I just was like, we gotta get it back somewhere and get it counted officially. So literally, as we're zipping up the bag, we see these two SUVs come flying in the driveway, and we work on like 36 acres, so there's a long driveway up to the convent. We see these cars pull up, two SUVs, and we're on the other side of the property. So there's like 2 or 3 entrances onto this property. We see them pull up from the far side, and I'm like, who the hell could that be? Like a couple big SUVs? Like, there's no way that's anyone who would be visiting the nuns, like, especially driving up like that. My grandpa peeks out and goes, it's probably the people that buried this money. And I'm like, shit, dude. Like, there's no way. There's no way, right? There's no way. It's mobsters or some crazy shit like that. So my grandpa hid the duffel bag in the garage, and then we started walking through the woods and kind of making our way towards the cars. Well, we're about halfway up this hill. We get to the top, and you see these guys down by the hole we dug. There's like 6 of them. And I'm like, holy shit, this is, they are here for the money. And I started shitting my pants. I'm like, oh my God, like, who are these fucking guys? Like, this is insane. Like, and my grandpa's like, just shut up. And me and my grandpa are sitting there like, what could this possibly be? So we're kind of watching these guys, and they're having an exchange, but we're a couple hundred feet back, so we can't necessarily hear what they're saying, but you see this dispute happening. And I swear to God, dude in the middle just pulls out a gun, boom, shoots this dude. And I literally fell back. I flew back off this tree that we were standing at. And I fell to the ground. I'm like, holy shit, they fucking shot that guy. I'm like, Papa, we gotta call the cops. What are we gonna do? And my grandpa slapped the shit out of me, and he goes, listen, buddy, this is real shit. Like, we have the money. We ain't giving it back now. Like, this is put up or shut up time. We're keeping this fucking money. I'm like, oh my God, okay. Like, I don't want to die. Like, are you serious right now? Like, I'm not fucking dying. I'm not doing that. Like, we're going to give it back to him. And he's like, they're going to kill us either way. Thomas, like, we need to keep this money. So I'm like, all right, well, what are we going to do? So we end up going back up to the garage. So my grandpa has me climb up in the rafters of this 2-door garage that we work out of. And I'm up like, 10, 12 feet up in the air. My grandpa ran inside and got like Alka-Seltzer. I was like, what the hell is he out of Alka-Seltzer? Comes back out, hides in the back corner of these shelves and just stays down. And I'm not gonna lie, I was scared shitless. I'm like, we're in here with $1 million. Like, these motherfuckers, I don't know who they are or where they're from, but like they're gonna kill us. They're probably gonna kill us. So sure enough, this guy comes in the garage with a fucking gun drawn, and he's looking around, screaming, "Who the fuck's in here?" And the guy, he makes a call. And my grandpa had told me, like, just stay put. Like, whatever happens when we get back, just stay put. And he's like, hey, I found the money. Because we just had it, like, hidden under a bed sheet on our workbench. So, like, it was not like it was hard to find. So he, kicked some stuff around, dug around a little bit, found the money. I'm like, oh, man, he's about to take all of our money. Like, dude, like, that's money that my grandparents could have used. Like, I could have used that to pay off my student loans. Like, there's just a lot of reasons that we could have really used that money. So as we're watching this go down, I'm like, damn, dude, like, they're about to get out of here with the money. But at the same time, I'm like, at least we're not going to get shot or, killed or anything crazy. Right as this dude turns to walk away, out of nowhere, I just see my grandpa shoot out and tackle this guy. Like, he jumps on his back, puts him in a chokehold, and I'm like, holy shit. So I'm like, again, I'm 10 or 12 feet up in the rafters, so I'm like, do I need to do something? This guy turns around, and I'm thinking my grandpa's going to get shot. When my grandpa tackled him, the gun shoots out of his hand, like flies across the floor, and he's spinning around with my grandpa, because my grandpa's not like a big guy. My grandpa's 76 years old. He's not like this big, brawny, he's not this big bodybuilder type dude or anything. So this guy is spinning around. My grandpa has him in a chokehold. Dude falls back. I see my grandpa has this, like, he's like foaming at the mouth. He's got like white foam all over his mouth, and he's screaming just gibberish at this guy, like, blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, whoa, what the fuck is going on? And again, I'm watching from the rafters, so I'm like waiting for an opportunity to do something. They're in this tussle. The dude hits my grandpa. And once the dude hit my grandpa, I was like, okay, we got a fucking problem now. Like, I need to get down there. So my grandpa kind of staggers back from the hit, and the dude took a few steps back to brace himself. As he steps back, he's like right below me. So I drop out of the rafters and just put him in a chokehold. We fall to the ground. It was the craziest shit. I mean, knocked the wind out of me and shit. So we get him on the ground, knock him out. We tie him up on our lawnmower because we're like, I know there's more than one guy coming for us, right? So he's out cold. We tie him up, put a bag over his head and shit. My grandpa grabs the money, and I'm like, Papa, we're in a movie script. So that's one of my movie scripts. In fact, it's actually part of a short film that we just finished filming this past fall with the Cincinnati filmmakers. Shout out Jameson and the boys. Really excited about that project, but had to tell that one on here because it's a story that I'm really looking forward to, and yeah, talks to Tom. Taking shots by the lake till I can't even breathe no more, see no more. I was riding around town thinking to myself, is it gonna get easier? I'll be up and away up the street getting paid, but I can't even breathe no more. What's it to me? What can I see? Taking shots by